Hey everyone, Ryan here with Greystone Mortgage. I just had a great conversation with a client that I have a lot of times where they're trying to figure out how much money they'll need to purchase a house. You've got your down payment plus your closing costs. So many people think that the loan amount can cover that, or you can roll those fees into the loan, and it doesn't really work that way with a mortgage like maybe a car or other types of financing. So I want to do a breakdown, what I just did with the client over the phone, kind of show you how these numbers pencil out, and maybe give you some tips on how to minimize how much money you need to come to the table with. So in this particular situation, they're buying a house at $280,000. They are putting 5% down, which is $14,000. So the loan, or what they're going to finance, is $266,000. Then the closing costs are added on top of that particular number. They're not financed into the loan. So typically the closing costs can range anywhere between 1 to 3% of your loan. It can't be more than 3%. No matter the name or whatever it's called, can't be more than 3%. So we're going to use that number just to play these numbers out. So in this scenario, a $266,000 loan, 3% is $7,980. Now I'm not saying every loan at $266 will be that cost, it just can't be more than that particular number. So if any of that money is left over, you can use it to either buy down the interest rate or remove mortgage insurance. There's ways you can use it, or of course it'd just be less out of pocket. It just can't be worse than that number. So if we add those two numbers together, $14,000 plus $7,980, that's a total of $21,980. So it won't be worse than that number. So if they plan on that number, it will not be worse than that. Most likely it's going to be a little bit less. It just can't be more than that. So here's something I wanted to play out with you, and what I did with my particular client is a way to reduce that out-of-pocket expense. So first of all, this payment of $266,000, let's just do the payment real quick. And we'll just take kind of an average interest rate. We're just kind of playing with numbers here. So the payment would be $11.57. I'll just round up to the nearest dollar, $11.57. That doesn't count the property taxes, insurance, mortgage insurance. That's just principal and interest on $266,000. So when you buy a home, you have these other costs that are part of the payment. So whatever your yearly insurance is for homeowners insurance, which covers fire and theft and liability coverage, just like your car insurance, just covers the structure of the house. That is a yearly premium with most homeowners policies. Whatever that yearly amount is, we divide it by 12 and add that to the payment. Same with the property taxes. In Utah, the taxes are due in November every year, so we just make sure we have enough in the account to cover that every November. When you don't put more than 20% down on a house, or less than 20% I should say, you have to add an insurance premium that's on top of that as well. So all of those are the same no matter what loan you do. So I'm just trying to do some loan comparisons. So we can go into that in another video on how all those things work. But what I wanted to show these clients is, instead of having to bring in all that extra money, look at raising the sales price. So instead of doing an offer on the house at $280,000, how about going to the sellers and saying, hey, I'll buy it for $287,500 if you give me back the $7,500. The reason why that's a benefit, I'll show you here in a second, is it's better to get more for the sales price than to try to dwindle the sales price down. And let me prove it to you. So let's raise the price to $287,500. Okay, so $287,500. 287,500 times 5%. That's $14,373 down. So you're $375 more down, but now you've got $7,500 to work with to cover all the other costs. So at $287,500, your loan amount now is $273,000. Okay, so you're financing more, but now you don't have as much out of pocket. So what's the payment difference? So let's do that. So in this loan, the payment would be $11.88 instead of $11.57. So that's $31. Okay? So for $31 more a month in your payment, Now you don't have to bring $7,500 to the table. So I always look at where's the break-even point. So if I take $31 divided by 7,500, go, that is 241 months. That's 20 years. So you have to save $31 for 20 years to earn back $7,500. Where else can $8,000 go, or $7,500? Where can that go that saves you more than $31 a month? Maybe you can pay off a bill. Maybe you can just keep it in savings. Maybe you can plan on, there's just better places to put it when money is so cheap right now. Why would you not just spend the extra $31 to save that $7,500 out of pocket? Now here's something else to consider. I see so many times people will say, okay, this list price is $280,000, we're going to offer them $270, $275. We're going to negotiate with it, which is totally fine. What I find is better to do is keep the price at $280, but get more for it. Get those closing costs included in that, so all you have to come up with is your down payment. But do keep in mind, almost every type of loan that you do, you're going to have your down payment plus the closing costs. It's not just down payment. There's always those extra fees that go on top of the loan. Because the down payment is based on what you're buying it for, the costs are what it costs to get those loans and to get it all recorded. So I hope that's helpful. Leave me a message. This is a video. Call me at 435-627-0494 or visit my website at ryanbolton.com. Love to show you these numbers. Call me and tell me why this wouldn't work. I mean, pick this apart for me. Why would you not do it this way instead of the other way? And some people will say, well, I'm financing more. Sure, $31 more a month. Saving $8,000. That's a 20-year recouping. Tell me over the next 20 years that you can't do something with $8,000 that gives you a better rate of return than zero. All you're doing is paying yourself back over 20 years. Money's so cheap right now, why wouldn't you get as much as you can out of the loan and keep as much of your own money where it's at? Or pay off another bill. You can't tell me that $8,000 wouldn't pay off something that's more than $31 a month. A car, Visa, something else. Oh, well, Ryan, it's not on a 30-year mortgage, this is a 30-year mortgage. Yeah, you're right, maybe the car loan isn't 30 years, but most likely you're not keeping this loan 30 years. You're going to sell, you're going to refinance, there's going to be something that's going to happen, but more importantly, that money there can go towards paying off this debt. So if you got $8,000 on a car loan, what's that monthly payment? $200? $250, That's $250 you could reapply to this loan to help it pay off faster. It's just a better use of the money. Or it's something where there's other ways to save that money with the interest rates they are today. So I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, please call me, write down in the comments. If you have other questions or other things that we can answer for you, other scenarios, I'd love to work with you. Call me at 435-627-0494 or visit ryanbolton.com. Thanks, everybody.